Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who have attained faith, be conscious, be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a manner that's befitting to His glory and His praise, and die not except in the state of loving surrender, the state of Islam. Bring this consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything you do in life, not only in the masjid, not only when you're praying. Let consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, awareness, be something permanent that modulates everything we do. Our behavior, the way we react, our emotions, what we say, when we speak, when we not speak, how we dress. Let everything in our life be modulated by our consistent consciousness and awareness. Allah is watching me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Arham al-Rahimin, Akram al-Akramin, is watching me. And therefore perform deeds in such manner. Right? وبعد, in a question asked by a prophet to another prophet. You know, we all ask questions and we all sometimes wonder on things. What is this? What is that? What? We all have questions. And here we have a narration telling us about two prophets speaking. And one of them is asking a question to the other. And of course, it will be very important, right? And it's Yahya alayhi salam, Prophet Yahya alayhi salam, asking Prophet Isa, Jesus, peace be upon him. So he asked him a question. He said, أي شيء أشد علي? What his concern is what? What is the thing that is most difficult on me? What is the worst thing ever? What is the hardest thing ever? What is the one thing, one experience, one thing that nobody can take? What is the worst, you know, the worst, what's the worst experience? What's the worst situation? What's the thing that you really need to stay away from, right? So he's asking about that. What is the thing that I need to really be careful about? Nobody can take this thing, right? So Isa alayhi salam said, yes, the worst experience, the worst thing ever that nobody can take is what? غضب الله, the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you make the Lord, Arham al-Rahimin, the most merciful, the most compassionate God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most generous, the most patient. If you did something that caused Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be angry at you, nobody can take that. That's the worst crime ever. How did you do that? And nobody can stand against it. It's an experience you want to never ever have in your life. So immediately he followed up the question. So they don't ask just for curiosity, right? So he asked, and how can I stay away from it? How can I avoid that? What leads people to that? How can you make the most merciful angry? Same thing. I have a very loving, decent father that's very generous. How can you make your dad angry? There are certain things if you do, the most loving dad can put you in prison, right? So it's a hideous crime. What leads to that? So he's asking the same thing. What leads people to that? How can I stay away from this? And then he answered, لا تغضب. Don't be angry. One of the fastest ways that human beings earn and end up in this situation where they face the wrath of Allah is what? An emotion. They act on an emotion called anger. Anger is extremely dangerous. Why is that? Because they say, there is another saying that say, people end up in hellfire wal-'iyadu billah because of three things. There are three doors, if you will. Door number one, misconceptions, misunderstanding about religion that causes someone to doubt religion. Somebody says, no, this cannot be the truth. Because of what? He misunderstood something. So he starts to doubt the religion and therefore leaves God and leaves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one door is what? The door of misconceptions. That's shak, right? The second door, they say shahwa, lust. Somebody, because of my desires of, I want more money, I start cheating, I want, intimate relations. So what? Because of my lust, I end up doing something that's bad, right? That's another door. The third door, they say anger. Now why? Anger, what does anger lead to? I get angry, I oppress other people. غضب أورث عدوانا وظلما. Because shahwa, lust, is on me. I desire something, I do something wrong, on me, right? I choose not to be a Muslim, I choose to be an atheist, on you, right? You're the one to take that. But when I get angry, what happens? It's no longer me. Anger, if not controlled, which is what we'll see, ends up making me oppress others. Sometimes taking the rights of others, killing others, hurting others, shattering the hearts of other people, destroying the self-esteem of others because I was angry. Dhulm, oppression. Anger is the door that a human being ends up oppressing his own brother, his own mother, his own sister, his own wife, his own husband. Why? Because I was angry. In one moment of anger, that's it. In another narration, and that's from Bani Israel, it's not a hadith, but it's very true, that Shaitan himself was asked by someone, Shaitan wants to control the son of Adam, and he wants us to do wrong things. So he was asked the question, what is the situation where you can really control humans? And he said, when one of you get angry. When a human gets angry, we play with him like you guys play with a soccer ball. We become so open. And Shaitan comes and he tells you an idea and it sounds so good because I'm angry. And it sounds so reasonable because when you get angry, you have ideas, right? And at the time, seems very fair, very nice, very good. If I act on it, later on I say, I wish I never said this word. And I can't take it back. That's the danger of anger, right? And therefore we have many narrations from the Prophet ﷺ when asked by Abu Huraira and Abu Darda about, tell me about a deed that if I do, it will, I'll enter Jannah. And he says, لا تغضب. Do not be angry. But wait a minute, what does that mean? Does that mean I must be never angry? Is anger bad? Is anger an emotion that we as Muslims or we as righteous people should get rid of? Is that our goal? Like Eastern philosophy, get rid of your desires, get rid of anger. The answer is no. And the Prophet ﷺ made it so clear in another narration when he told us, who do you consider the strongest among you? Right? And they said, the one that can wrestle other people down. And he says, no. A strong person, man yamlik nafsahu 'inda al-ghadab, is a person who's able to control himself when he gets angry. Notice what he didn't say, a strong person doesn't get angry. What did he say? He gets angry. But what's the measure? He can control himself. In a way, Imam al-Ghazali, to summarize this concept, he puts this axiom or rule. There is praiseworthy anger, blameworthy anger. Praiseworthy anger is what? Al-ghadab al-mahmud, ghadab ينتظر إشارة العقل والدين. Praiseworthy anger is an anger characterized by the following. It awaits the signal of logic, mind, and religion. The character of an anger that is praiseworthy, when you have a dog, dogs can be one of two things. Wild dogs, they're dangerous. They can bite kids, dangerous. But a tamed police dog is actually a very good resource because he doesn't attack. He sees someone and he looks to his trainer. Should I or not? You give him the signal, he goes. You tell him don't, he sits. A tamed, trained anger, which is tamed, trained, awaits the command of moderated by religion and logic and hikmah and wisdom. That's praiseworthy anger. To illustrate this to you, there is a story of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. And again, why anger is so important to be controlled, right? Why? Why is it such an emotion that causes problems? If we look to our lives, anger, wars start because of anger. Family feuds, people do terrible things because 1 minute they get angry and they couldn't control themselves and they acted. So a key is the following. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, which was a Khalifa of the Muslimin, like power. If you have power, you must control your anger. Anger becomes really important for people who are in power. People, if you have strength, power, authority, if you're in command and you better control your anger because other people will press your buttons. And if you're strong, you will do terrible things. So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, now that's the Khalifa of the Muslimin, most powerful person in his time. A man came to him and it says, أغلظ رجل من قريش لعمر ibn Abdul Aziz, and just said very foul things in front of him. And Umar ibn Abdul Aziz got angry because you attacked me and it's unjust. So as everyone else, he got angry, but they said the following. فأطرق. So he put his head down and waited for a long time. And then he lifted his head up and he said the following. أردت أن يستفزني الشيطان بعز السلطان فأنال منك اليوم ما تناله مني غدا. What a statement. He raised his head and look what he said. He said, what are you doing? You want to press my button with those words. So I, because of the power I have of being the sultan of my time, right? I will do something to you out of my anger. And on the day of judgment, you'll take it back from me. No. The key here is what? He was able to wait. Wait. And therefore we have a principle from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first rule, if you will, to moderate anger, to make my anger praiseworthy, right? Number one, he says this, لا يقضي القاضي وهو غضبان. One of you, a judge, one of you that you're going to take a decision, never make a ruling, a decision if you're angry, while you're angry. Wait till you calm down. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said the same thing. Whenever he would assign a governor, to a certain place, he would tell him the following: if you feel angry against anybody, never punish. Never punish when you're angry. If somebody angers you, put him in prison, lock him up for some days till you calm down, then bring him and discuss the matter. When my kids make me angry, if I detect I'm angry, go to your room. My wife made me angry. I'm angry and I detect that feeling. Let's discuss that later, please. And I have coordination with her. When I get angry, let me go. It doesn't mean we're not going to discuss it and we're dismissing things. We'll discuss it when I calm down. But do not discuss, do not take decisions, do not act while you're angry. Right? This is an advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ability to wait, patience. Right? That's number one. Now, the other important thing about anger, there is two things that characterize anger, brother and sister, in general. Anger tells me a lot about me. As Imam al-Ghazali, why did Allah put anger in us? Is it a bad thing? He says no. Anger is an emotion that's very helpful to the human. What's the purpose? What's the divine purpose of humans getting angry? Anger is to protect what is important and valuable for me. And you find a small kitten, a cat. The cat is afraid of me. You go and run and the cat will run away. Of course, you can destroy the cat, right? But if the cat has a kitten and you try to approach that cat, what happens? Try to attack her kitten. The cat will attack me. She's not going to win. Anger. See? She loves her kitten. It's important that I protect my kitten. Anger now is designed for what? It enables the cat to overcome fear, overcome greed, overcome everything to defend something that's important. Anger was instilled in us so that we protect the things that are important. People that are weak, people that are helpless, concepts, morals. When morals are violated, when weak people are oppressed, of course, looking at Gaza, of course I should get angry. So anger trigger. What triggers my anger? What triggers my anger will tell me about me, will tell me what is important for me. So when I get angry, first question you ask yourself, what am I trying to defend? Because people get angry over various things. When you think about it, people get angry because somebody said something bad against me, told me, a bad word. What am I defending? My self-esteem. People with low self-esteem. If you get criticized, you get really angry. Because I think your words are But if I have self-confidence and you tell me some bad word, I say, okay, who cares? Salman al-Farisi, great companion. A man came and told him, you dog. I would get angry. He looked at him and he said the following, look, if I end up in Jannah, end up in paradise, what you said doesn't matter. If I end up in hellfire, a dog is better than me. What you says is nonsense. Why would I get angry? It's a foolish person. His self-esteem is good. I'm not triggered by that. What triggers my... Some people get triggered when somebody's driving slow in front of them. Lack of patience. When my son keeps whining, I can't take it, I get angry. Patience. That's patience. Some people, some people get... if you interrupt me, let's say, I'm speaking about something and you interrupt me. My opinion is so important. You cannot differ with me. That points to some arrogance in me. People have the right to differ with me. It's okay to differ with me. It's okay. My opinion, if you don't take it, it's fine. So when I get angry, what makes me angry? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What is prophetic anger? What made him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam angry? كانت لا تغضبه الدنيا ولا يغضب له. He never got angry over any worldly thing. Anything worldly does not make him angry. And as narrated by Aisha and Ali ibn Abi Talib, ما انتقم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لنفسه قط. He صلى الله عليه وسلم was never angry or sought vengeance for himself ever. ولكن إذا ضيعت محارم الله لم يقم لغضبه أحد. However, if somebody violates the rights of Allah or the rights of other people, nobody can stand his anger. It's called moral anger. That is okay. But other triggers, depends on me. The question that we have is what makes me angry? Is it for Allah or for myself? The Prophet ﷺ never got angry for himself. It's always for Allah. But I'm a human being, brother. Is it okay for me to get angry for myself? Somebody insulted me. Isn't it okay to? The answer is yes. Now comes the other dimension of anger. It's about how you get angry. It's okay to get angry for myself, but you know, what's your anger style? When you get angry, what do I do? That's the second part. That's the second part. What does that mean? There is different styles of expressing anger. If I got angry for myself, I don't say bad words. I don't punch a person. I don't say... How do you express? There is something called anger dimensions. What is my anger style? He, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our prophet, he got angry. But when he got angry, did he say any foul word? No, never. You would know because his face is red and you know his vein appears. That's it. His anger was restorative, not punitive. That's one dimension of an anger style. When I get angry, anger tells me what? Where is the culprit? Punish, punish. He must pay. There is two styles of anger. Something wrong is happening. I want to restore. I want to bring things back to normal. That's called restorative anger. That's good. But some people, it's not about restoring. It's about he must be in pain. And I don't care. I need to see blood. That's punitive anger. That's not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's dangerous. One of the most dangerous anger styles, and I'll give you an example for that, is displaced anger. Sometimes I get angry for the correct reason, but then I express it in the wrong way. Give me an example. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the companions was speaking to a Jewish person, and they started arguing. So the Jewish person pressed his button. He said, "La walladhi faddala Musa ala al-bashar." He's speaking to the Muslim and says, "No, by the one that favored Musa alayhi salam over all other people." Meaning what? Like our prophet is, he's doing this thing. So the man got really angry. Now, why did he get angry? Because what does he love? He loves Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Is that bad? No. Of course because that's important. So he got really angry. And what did he do? He slapped him. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw this. And he came and he was so angry at the Muslim. At the Muslim. Why? Yeah, I know you're doing it for me, but that's not my style. Now you had every reason why to be angry, but you ended up doing something worse. You ended up oppressing the man. It's his right, it's his creed, it's his faith. Let him be. You cannot slap him because he said that. Now you're in trouble. Somebody draws a cartoon of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Might get really angry. Go burn an embassy. That's not the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I leave you with this example. Abraham, remember? Christian man who saw the pagan Arabs worshipping statues. So he got, okay, let me build a church so that people can come and worship the one God, the God of Jesus, peace be upon him. Is that bad? It's good. It's better than what they're doing. What happened? One of those Arabs came to his church and he defecated. He defiled the church. That is wrong. That is bad. Of course, you have every right to be angry. But what did he decide to do? His anger style was not prophetic. Collective punishment, displaced anger. I get angry against you, I punish everybody. To punish him? No. Everybody. So he got his army and punish that man. No, I'm going to destroy their Kaaba. I'm going to punish everybody. What ended up happening? Allah destroyed him. He's a Christian. Those are pagans. God ended up destroying a Christian who they built a church for him. Because that's not the way of Jesus. So when we speak about anger, brothers and sisters, quickly, two dimensions. What am I angry for? Lillah or linnafs, for Allah or for myself. And how do I get angry? Do I get angry by Allah in accordance with the Sharia of Allah, with the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's good. But if I get angry for Allah, for the good reason, by the nafs, punitive, destructive, that's when I end up oppressing others. That's when I am in trouble. Although my reason was right, but the way I acted is not right. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أفضل المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين وبعد. طيب, how do you control anger, right? What do I do if I'm an angry person? I want really to become more patient. The first thing, there is two levels. One, I want to be calmer. I need to find what my anger triggers are. Different triggers have different treatment. If I'm an impatient person, when I'm downloading a file and it takes a long time and I get irritated, so what? That means I need to slow down. The treatment is of that style. When I get angry because somebody criticized me, maybe it's self-esteem. So number one, find your anger triggers. And there are surveys for that. This is one. Two, the hereafter. The hereafter, brothers and sisters. The Prophet ﷺ said, من قضم غيظا لو شاء أن يمضيه أمضاه ملأ الله قلبه إيمانا وفي رواية رضا. Whoever suppresses anger, and if he wishes, he could act on it, but he chooses for the sake of Allah to do what? Not going to act on it. I let it go. For the sake of Allah, Allah will fill his heart with faith and contentment. So when I get angry, I remind myself, I talk to myself about this. Do I want my heart to be full with faith? Do I want my heart to be full of contentment? Contentment is powerful. So I keep telling myself, next time I get angry, let things go. And I tell myself, Ya Rabb, you know I'm angry. You see, but I'm suppressing it for you. Please, a heart full of faith, a heart full of contentment, worth it. Worth it, worth it. Ya akhi, go. Go, I forgive you. Khalas, go with it. Finally, forgiveness, by the way, does not mean that you love the person, does not mean you don't hold him accountable. I can forgive a person and take him to the court. I'm not angry. Why? You know, like our kids, they do something dumb. I'm laughing, but they have to be punished. I'm not punishing because I'm angry, but because it's good for them. So nobody says, when we say forgive a person, it doesn't mean you trust him, everything is good. No, I can forgive you and say, khalas, we don't deal with each other again, but you're forgiven. Why? I don't trust you. Trust is different than forgiveness. It's not weakness. Right? Choosing to suppress my anger doesn't mean I'm a fool and I will allow you to oppress me. No, I won't. I choose not to act on this, but maybe I will not communicate with you again. That's my right, because I don't trust you. But qadm al-ghayz, for the sake of Allah, the reward is a sweetness in the heart, is faith, is contentment. That is worth it. Finally, what have we said? The three things. One, the ability to wait. When I get angry, don't act. Suspend judgment. Go away. Don't take an action. Don't say a word. If I detect anger, the likes of me, I better not act on it. This is one, right? Second, this is very important, suspend judgment, right? Second, we said about what? Qadm al-ghayz. Third, what makes me angry? It's okay to get angry for myself. Let me find out. But my style of anger must be prophetic. I must follow the Sharia of Allah. I must not say a foul word. I can be angry and upset and I have a conversation with you and I'm frowning like him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, but my tongue is clean. You're safe from my hands. You're safe from verbal abuse. I can express, I can be assertive, but never oppressive. Let not anger be a door for us to enter hellfire. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His mercy to enable us to control our anger.